The 5 sexual traps everyone should avoid at all costs. Now, if you have been following me consistently, you will notice that I have done a content on the topic of sex traps, and that is completely different from sexual trap. And now, idea that the woman set traps to manipulate men into a relationship is called a sex trap, or to extract resources from them is called a sex traps. And sexual traps are also mindful of potential pitfalls and traps that can harm the connection between partners in heterosexual relationship. It's called a sexual trap. Now I have made myself clear. Now let's get into it. Sexual intimacy is an essential aspect of any romantic relationship, but it can also be a minefield of potential pitfalls. Now, if you have been following me consistently, you notice that I've done a content on the topic of sex traps, and that is completely different from sexual traps. And now the idea that women set sex traps to manipulate men into a relationship or to extract resources or money from them is called sex traps. And here, sexual traps are also minefield of potential pitfalls and traps that can harm the connection between partners in heterosexual relationship. Now, since I've made myself clear, let's get into sexual traps. Now, sexual intimacy is an essential aspect of any romantic relationship, but it can also be a mindful of potential pitfalls and traps that can harm the connection between partners. As a man, it is crucial to be aware of these traps and avoid them at all costs to ensure healthy and fulfilling sexual relationship with your partner. In this video, I'm going to discuss with you 5 common sexual traps that every man should steer clear to maintain a strong and satisfying connection with your partner. Now, number 1 on my list is called lack of communication. Now, one of the most significant traps that men fall into their sexual relationship is a lack of communication. Now, communication is a key to a healthy and satisfying relationship, as it allows partners to express their desires, boundaries, and needs openly and honestly. When communication breaks down, misunderstanding can occur, leading to frustration, resentment, and ultimately lack of intimacy. To avoid this kind of trap, it is essential to prioritize open and honest communication with your partner about your sexual desires, sexual preferences, and boundaries. Encourage your partner to do the same and create a safe space where both of you can express yourself without fear of judgment or criticism. By fostering open communication, you can strengthen your connection with your partner and ensure that both of your needs are met in bedroom. Now, number 2 on the list is performance anxiety. Another common trap that men fall into their sexual relationship is called performance anxiety. Many men feel pressure perform sexually and meet certain expectations, which can lead to anxiety, stress, and even erectile dysfunctions. Performance anxiety can create a barrier to intimacy, pleasure, as it smites the focus from enjoying the moment to meeting unrealistic standards. To avoid this kind of trap, it is essential to let go of expectations and focus on connecting with your partner on a deeper level. Now, remember that the sex is not a performance, but a shared experience between two people who care about each other. Now, take the pressure off yourself and prioritizing pleasure and intimacy over performance. By shifting your mindset, you can overcome performance anxiety and enjoy a more fulfilling sexual relationship with your partner. Now, number 3 on my list is lack of foreplay. Foreplay is an essential part of any sexual encounter, as it helps to build anticipation, arousal, and intimacy between partners. However, many men fall into the trap of rushing through foreplay or skipping it altogether, which can lead to a lackluster and unsatisfying sexual experience for both partners. Without adequate foreplay, women may struggle to become fully aroused and reach orgasm, leading to frustration and disappointment. Wow. To avoid this trap, it is crucial to prioritize foreplay and take the time to explore your partner's body, desires, and fantasies. Engage in sensual activities such as kissing, touching, and caressing to build anticipation and arousal before moving on to intercourse. By investing in foreplay, you can enhance the pleasure and intimacy of your sexual encounters and ensure that both you and your partner have a more satisfying experience. Now, number 4 on my list is called selfishness. Now, selfishness is another trap that men should avoid in their sexual relationships, as it can create imbalance, resentment, and dissatisfaction between partners. When one partner prioritizes their own pleasure and needs over their partners, it can lead to feeling of neglect and frustration, ultimately harming the connection between them. Now, to avoid this kind of trap, it is essential to prioritize your partner's pleasure and satisfaction in the bedroom. Now, focus on mutual pleasure and communicate and make an effort to understand and fulfill your partner's desires and needs. By prioritizing your partner's pleasure, you can create more balanced and fulfilling sexual relationship that benefit both of you. Last on my list is called lack of consent. Finally, one of the most critical traps that men should avoid in their sexual relationship is called lack of consent. Consent is essential in any sexual encounter. And finally, this is how I draw the curtains. My name, once again, is Sodopine, and here is Sodopine TV. And if in case today is the first time of watching my video, I'll beg of you to subscribe, share, and comment.